Now to Sean Diddy Combs' investigation. New surveillance video shows Combs being taken into custody.
To the man who was once the most feared figure in all of hip-hop. But here he is now, Suge Knight, a former rap powerhouse.
For people who have done a little bit of homework and know who you are, why should they believe you about what you think and feel about Sean Diddy Combs, given your history of animosity with him?
Well, first of all, I'm not calling you and nobody else to get nobody to believe anything regarding him. Like I said, I always say.
Did you attend any of P. Diddy's parties? Were you involved in any of the freak-offs?
All right, let's get into this. SugeKnight just dropped some serious tea. And it's about to get wild. He's talking about Diddy prison life. And let's just say it's not looking good for him. Suge has been there, done that, and he's making it clear Diddy's not ready for what's coming. But here's the juicy part. JayZ might be tied up in all of this too. Yep, you heard that right. There's more going on behind the scenes than anyone could have guessed. So what's really about to go down, stick around, because this story is about to take some shocking twists. It's no news that Diddy got arrested on Monday, September 16th at an NYC hotel. The charges some heavy stuff like racketeering, trafficking, and prostitution. By Tuesday, September 17th, he was in Manhattan's federal court pleading not guilty. So where's Diddy now? He's chilling out at the Metropolitan Detention Center, MDC. The MDC has a nasty reputation for being very violent. In one crazy incident, an inmate got attacked by MS-13 gang members and was 44 times. Fortunately, he survived, but others haven't been as fortunate. In June 2024, one inmate was in a fight, and just a few weeks later, another guy was fatally tabbed. Things have gotten so bad at the MDC that judges are refusing to send non-violent offenders. Their one judge even called it a place where chaos reigns and violence is out of control. Big-name inmates like Sam Bankman, Freed R. Kelly, and Ghislaine Maxwell been held there too, though they're kept away from the general population. Still, conditions across the board are pretty horrible. Diddy stuck there for now with no bail, and his appeal to get out was denied. The MDC has been in the news before. Back in 2019, there was a power outage that left inmates without heat or light during a freezing week. Since the city's other federal jail shut down in 2021, the MDC has only gotten worse, with more violent offenders packed in and not enough staff to handle things. But that's not all. Over the last year, the courts have been buzzing with outrage over some pretty alarming cases of medical ill at the MDC. Take Terrence Wise, for example. Back in February, the guy found out he had a mass in his chest. But did anyone bother to tell him or, give him medical care? Of course not. In a surprising move, U.S. District Judge Jesse Furman even decided to keep a defendant on house arrest. Instead of sending him back to jail after his conviction, he cited the awful conditions at the MDC, saying it was exceptional enough to justify his decision. He pointed out how the place has been really slow in providing the necessary medical and mental health care to inmates. It's definitely sparked a bigger conversation about the need for change in inmate health care. It's going to be a rough ride for Diddy, especially after all those years of living it up in luxury, then huge mansions, fancy parties, and closets full of designer clothes. The self-proclaimed bad boy for life is about to find out just how bad life can get in the special housing unit. Probably sharing a tiny cell with another inmate. His days are going to be super structured, starting bright and early at 6 o'clock a.m. He'll have to make his own bed, clean the cell, and mop the floors. Forget lounging around. He's only getting 1 hour a day for recreation and showers just 3 times a week. Meals won't be any better either. They're pre-made, sitting in warming boxes before being delivered to him, so he won't exactly be enjoying anything fresh. And there's always that nagging fear about food safety. He'll still have access to a commissary for little comforts like candy or coffee. But since he's isolated from the general population, there won't be much socializing, and honestly, that might be the least of Diddy's worries. As a big-name celebrity, he could be a target for other inmates who might see attacking someone as famous as Diddy as a way to boost their status behind bars. With the serious charges he's facing, plus some pretty grim incidents like past in the facility, there's already talk about how he'll handle the pressure. Now, guys, SugeKnight is back in the spotlight, and this time he's talking about Diddy's future in jail. For anyone who doesn't know, Suge was a big player in the music scene as the co-founder of Death Row Records. Back in the 90s, he and Diddy were huge rivals, Suge with Death Row and Diddy with Bad Boy Records. Their beef was legendary as they fought for dominance in the rap world. While Suge was never charged, his name has always been linked to conspiracy theories around the deaths of Tupac Shakur, and the notorious Big Suge is currently serving a 28-year sentence for voluntary manslaughter. But that hasn't stopped him from sharing his thoughts, especially when it comes to Diddy's arrest. During an interview with Chris Como on News Nation, Suge didn't hesitate to speak his mind. But here's the thing, even with their rocky past, Suge isn't celebrating Diddy's situation. In fact, he started off by saying he's not the type to cheer when someone ends up in prison, especially another black man. Maybe prison's giving Suge some Oprah-level life lessons. That said, Suge didn't hold back when talking about the realities of jail life. According to him, prison is a rough environment no matter who you are, and being famous might actually make things worse. People inside are always looking for a way to make a name for themselves, and if messing with someone as high profile as Diddy helps them do that, they'll go for it. It's a harsh reality that Suge knows all too well. He suggested that Diddy could learn from this experience, but made it clear that everyone knows what they're signing up for in life, suggesting that this might just be a part of the game for someone like Diddy. When Como asked if Suge thought Diddy was in serious danger, Suge didn't want to go that far, but he did drop a pretty chilling piece of advice. Don't let anyone think you're at risk of harming yourself. Once you're labeled as in prison, you lose everything: your clothes, your blankets, even your dignity. You're thrown in a cell with nothing, treated like you're a threat to yourself. According to Suge, Diddy definitely doesn't want to end up in that situation. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Suge shared some unexpected prison wisdom. Ask for kosher meals. Yep, kosher meals. Why? Because they come sealed and hot, and no one can mess with them before you get them in a place where you can't trust much. That little bit of control over your food can be a big deal. It's a strange but smart tip coming from someone who's been through it. In a shocking twist, the internet is going wild with conspiracy theories, throwing JayZ into the mix and linking him to Diddy. And not for good. Some folks are saying that Beyonce and JayZ might somehow be tied to the deaths of iconic musicians like Aaliyah, Left A, and Michael Jackson. The theory suggests that these stars, along with legends like Tupac, were taken out for not playing nice with Diddy, Beyonce, and JayZ. And there's this strange thing happening at award shows where celebrities keep thanking Beyonce and JayZ even when it doesn't really make sense. Like, remember when Adele got all emotional and praised Beyonce at the 2017 Grammys, or how Britney Spears made a point to thank her at the 20,123 People's Choice Awards. Fans are convinced this is more than just being polite. They think it's a sign of control, like stars feel they have to show love to Beyonce and JayZ to stay in the industry's good books. Then Jaguar Wright decided to stir the pot even more during her chat with Piers Morgan. She called out JayZ for not speaking up about Diddy's situation, claiming he's trying to distance himself from the drama. She even went as far as saying Beyonce and JayZ have some sketchy business practices, calling them a nasty little couple. Wright even made some pretty wild connections, linking JayZ to infamous figures like Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, and R. Kelly. She argues that they all have one thing in common: JayZ. She's practically begging him to respond to these serious claims, but so far JayZ and Beyonce have stayed quiet, leaving everyone buzzing with theories. What a mess. You know, there's something pretty interesting that fans have been chatting about regarding JayZ, Beyonce, and Diddy. All three of them have birthdays that fall on the 4th of the month. JayZ's on December 4th, Beyonce's on September 4th, and Diddy's on November 4th. That has already got people raising eyebrows. Now in 2017, JayZ dropped his album 444, which only intensified the buzz around this number for Beyonce and JayZ. The number 4 isn't just a random coincidence, it's got a personal significance, especially since they tied the knot on April 4th. But conspiracy theorists are taking this whole thing to another level. The idea is that this number pattern isn't just a fun coincidence, instead, it's part of some hidden power dynamic. According to them, the number serves as a kind of coded message, something only the select few in their inner circle truly grasp. Even though it's just a theory, there's something about this coincidence that really makes you stop and think. It's intriguing enough to spark a little curiosity. Don't you think this whole saga is really just getting started? But how do you think Diddy would handle being at the MDC? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to check out the next video. And thanks for watching my video.